This is the IELTS listening test. You will hear a number of different recordings, and you will have to answer questions on what you hear. There will be time for you to read the instructions and questions, and you will have the chance to check your work. All the recordings will be played once only. The test is in 4 parts. At the end, you will be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers to an answer sheet. Now turn to Part 1. Part 1. A man calls the Hollowbridge Leisure Centre to inquire about joining swimming classes for adults. First, you have some time to read questions 1 to 6. Now listen and answer question 1 to 6.
Good morning, Hollowbridge Leisure Centre. Emily speaking. How can I help?
Hi there, I'm calling to ask about your adult swimming lessons. I saw something about them on your website, but I couldn't find the full details.
Of course. We run several swimming programs throughout the year. Are you looking for beginner, intermediate or advanced lessons?
I'd say beginner. I can just about float and do a bit of doggy paddle, but that's it. I never really learned properly.
No worries at all. Our beginner sessions are perfect for that. We focus on water confidence, basic strokes and breathing techniques. It's very structured and all the instructors are fully qualified.
That's great. And when do the classes take place?
The beginner course runs on Wednesday and Friday evenings from 7:15 to 8 o'clock p.m. and the new term starts on the 3rd of October.
How long is the term?
It's an 8-week course, so it will finish at the end of November on the 28th.
Got it. And is it at the main pool?
Yes, all lessons are held at the central pool, but we block off a section for the class to ensure privacy and safety.
That sounds reassuring. How many people are in each class?
We limit the group to 10 participants per session, so the instructor can give personal attention. It's usually a nice mix of people. Some have never swum before, others are just looking to improve.
Okay, that's helpful. Do I need to bring any special equipment?
Just the basics, a swimming costume, a towel and a pair of goggles. We provide flotation aids and kickboards, so you don't need to worry about those.
Perfect. And how much does it cost?
The full 8-week course is £64, but if you're a member of the centre, you get a 10% discount.
I'm not a member yet. I was actually considering it. How much is membership?
Our adult membership is £24 per month, and that includes access to the gym, pool, fitness classes, and discounts on courses like this.
That's actually not bad at all. I might sign up.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to read questions 7 to 10. Now listen and answer questions 7 to 10.
Can I register for the class now?
Absolutely. I'll just need a few details from you to complete the booking.
Great.
First, can I take your full name?
Sure, it's Peter Langford. That's Langford.
Thanks, Peter. And your contact number?
It's 07984662119.
And your email address?
It's p.langford72@zenco.uk.
Thank you. Just a couple more things. Have you ever had any medical conditions we should be aware of, like asthma or joint problems?
No, I'm pretty healthy.
Okay. And do you have a preferred payment method? We accept card, bank transfer, or cash in person.
I'll pay by card. Can I do that over the phone?
Yes, I can process that once we complete the form. Right, I also need your home address for our records.
It's 28 Hartswood Drive. That's Hartswood in Milford. The postcode is ML62JW.
Got it. Do you need access to any additional facilities, such as the changing rooms or lockers?
Yes, I'd like to use a locker if possible. Do I need to bring anything for that?
You'll need your own padlock. We don't provide them, but any small lock will do.
Okay. And what time should I arrive on the first day?
Try to come around 15 minutes early, especially since it's your first session. That'll give you time to check in and find the changing area.
Got it.
Oh, and make sure to bring a form of ID, like a driving license or something similar. It's just for verification at reception.
Will do.
Once we receive payment, we'll email your confirmation and your instructor's welcome message. If you join as a member today, you can start using the pool right away, even before the class begins.
That's good to know. I might do that then.
Brilliant. Is there anything else I can help you with?
No, I think that's everything. Thanks so much, Emily.
You're very welcome, Peter. We look forward to seeing you on the 3rd of October.
Likewise. Bye for now.
Bye.
That is the end of part 1. You now have half a minute to check your answers. Part 2. You will hear a welcome briefing at the Lakeside Environmental Education Center for a group of new volunteers. First, you have some time to read questions 11 to 14. Listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 14.
Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Alan Forrester and I'm the Program Director here at the Lakeside Environmental Education Center. I'd like to begin by extending a warm welcome to each of you. Whether you're joining us as part of a university placement for work experience or simply to give back to the community, we're delighted to have you on board. Let me start with some background about the center itself. Lakeside was established in 2003 on land that was previously used for quarrying. When operations ceased in the late 1990s, the local council launched an ambitious regeneration project to transform the area into a haven for wildlife and environmental education. The result is the 120-acre site you see today, which includes woodland, grassland, and, of course, the lake that gives the center its name. The center's core mission is to promote awareness of sustainability and conservation through hands-on learning. We provide programs for schools during term time and for families and adults at weekends and during holidays. Our audience is incredibly diverse, from young children visiting for the first time to adults retraining for careers in ecology. Now, as volunteers, you'll be involved in a wide range of activities. One of the key areas is education support. This involves helping our instructors during school visits, guiding students during fieldwork, setting up materials, and sometimes leading small group discussions. If you're assigned to this area, you'll be given topic notes and safety guidance in advance. Another vital role is habitat maintenance. This is our term for all the behind-the-scenes work that keeps the site functioning. That might include clearing overgrown pathways, checking fencing, or assisting with water sampling and invasive species control. It's physical work but highly rewarding, and you'll always be working in teams. We also rely on volunteers in the Welcome Center. This is where visitors check in, ask questions, and often buy refreshments or books from the gift shop. You'll help with general inquiries, hand out trail maps, and support guests who need extra assistance. If you enjoy interacting with people, this is a great place to be. Occasionally, we also run public events like our annual Wildlife at Dusk evening, where families come to learn about nocturnal animals. At such events, we need volunteers to direct parking, register participants, and distribute materials. These are busy but fun evenings, and we always provide food and refreshments for staff and volunteers. This season, we've also introduced a new volunteer development program. We used to rely on informal peer mentoring, but based on feedback, we've formalized it. Now, each new volunteer is paired with a mentor, attends 2 training sessions, and receives a progress review after their first month. This way, everyone receives consistent support and has a clear pathway for growth.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to read questions 15 to 20. Now listen and answer questions 15 to 20.
Next, I'd like to share findings from a recent survey we conducted with both visitors and staff about attitudes toward emerging environmental education trends. The first trend we asked about was the use of virtual reality, or VR, to simulate outdoor experiences, particularly during poor weather. While the idea sounded innovative, the majority of respondents said it felt artificial. They felt disappointed when using it and still preferred authentic outdoor learning, even in light rain. We also asked about citizen science projects. These involve ordinary people helping collect scientific data like counting butterflies or testing water samples. The response to this was overwhelmingly positive. Many felt it empowered learners, gave real-world meaning to activities, and was a growing area of interest. Another point we explored was the rise of themed eco-games and apps. These digital games aim to teach children about environmental topics. However, respondents were skeptical. While entertaining, they were seen as less effective at fostering a deeper connection with nature. So their usefulness was considered limited. We then asked for opinions on intergenerational learning, where older adults and children work together during nature-based tasks. This was viewed very favorably. People described it as a mutually enriching experience, and some said it led to better teamwork and communication. Finally, we touched on the topic of rewilding projects, such as reintroducing native species into ecosystems. While some supported the concept, others expressed caution. Concerns included ecological balance, funding, and long-term responsibility. Overall, opinions were mixed. Thank you all again for joining us. After this session, we'll break into groups for a short tour, and then you'll meet your assigned mentors. If you have any questions at any point, don't hesitate to ask. Welcome to the Lakeside Environmental Education Center. We look forward to an amazing season together.
That is the end of the part 2. You have half a minute to check your answers. Part 3. You will hear 2 university students, Clara and James, discussing their joint project for a course in environmental geography. First, you now have some time to read questions 21 to 25. Now listen and answer questions 21 to 25.
Hey James, glad you could make it. We've got quite a bit to finalize for this coastal geography project, huh?
Absolutely. It's due next week and we still need to firm up our structure. I was hoping we could settle on our exact focus today.
Same here. So, did you get a chance to look at Professor Walsh's list of suggested themes?
Yeah, I went through them last night. The one that really stood out to me was the impact of tourism on coastal ecosystems.
Oh yes, I marked that one too. It's super relevant, especially with how much tourism's bounced back recently. There's a lot of media attention around it, plus a solid amount of academic literature to support our work.
Exactly, and it's a topic that's quite visual as well, ideal for presentations. I thought we could focus on case studies, maybe 3 different tourist destinations where the effects on coastal areas are distinct.
That makes sense. I was thinking something similar. My idea was to choose 2 heavily visited coastal destinations, like the Maldives or southern Thailand, and then compare them with a more protected or regulated area, like the Galapagos Islands.
That's brilliant. It gives us a contrast between high-impact tourism and eco-conscious regulation. We could analyze the effects not only environmentally but socially and economically too.
Exactly. The Maldives could be a great example of how unchecked development affects coral reefs and coastal erosion. But then the Galapagos show what can happen when a region imposes visitor limits and controls.
Right. And for the third, what about a European site, Ibiza or maybe southern Spain? That would give us geographical diversity and some cultural variation too.
Southern Spain could work. Some parts have tried to implement sustainable tourism policies, so we could look at how successful those have been.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to read questions 26 to 30. Now listen and answer questions 26 to 30.
Okay, now how should we divide the work?
Well, you're stronger on the ecological side, so maybe you could focus on the environmental impacts, water pollution, biodiversity loss, habitat disruption.
Sure, that's my comfort zone. And you could handle the socio-economic side, things like job creation, income from tourism, and also the cost of environmental restoration.
Great.
We should also include a methods section, how we gathered our information. I'm planning to use a mix of journal articles, government reports, and even a few NGO publications.
That's a good idea. I also thought about using a couple of published interviews, people who work in marine conservation or ecotourism, just to bring in some qualitative viewpoints.
That would definitely strengthen our analysis. Speaking of which, do you think we should include any original data or just secondary sources?
I think we should stick to secondary data. We don't really have time to conduct our own survey or fieldwork, but maybe we could present a comparative table of stats from the case studies.
That's manageable. You could handle the environmental chart, maybe showing species decline or coral health. And I'll create one that compares income from tourism to spending on environmental protection.
Perfect.
What about the format? Do you want to do a live PowerPoint presentation or a recorded video? Honestly, I'd prefer a video. We can control it better, avoid nerves, and polish it before submission.
True, but the editing can be a bit time-consuming.
That's all right. If we get everything ready by the start of next week, we'll have enough time. We just need to book one of the media labs for recording.
Okay, video it is. I'll handle the slide design. I've got some clean templates we can use.
Should we split the narration equally? Yup, I'll draft our script. You're good at writing the narrative, right? That might catch the viewer's attention.
And to make it engaging, I thought we could start the video by posing a question like, what happens when paradise becomes a hotspot? Yeah, that's fair.
We'll need to submit a separate bibliography. Oh, and remember to include references as we go. That's clever. It hints at the contradiction between tourism and conservation.
Right, Harvard style, I assume?
Yep. I'll also email Professor Walsh to confirm the video format. Last semester she mentioned some students submitted files that didn't play properly.
Good idea.
By the way, when do you want to check in on progress?
How about Friday afternoon? I should have most of the socio-economic section done by then.
Works for me. I'll bring a draft of the Galapagos section and a rough sketch of my comparison chart.
Excellent. I'll also try to have the script's introduction ready. Then we can start timing it and adjust for length if needed.
Great.
Let's make Friday a working session. Book a room in the media lab.
Will do. I'll also test the mics and make sure we know how to use the recording software.
Amazing. I think we're actually ahead of schedule for once.
Don't jinx it.
That is the end of the part 3. Now you have 30 seconds to check your answers to part 3. Part 4. You will hear a seminar about procrastination. First, you have some time to read questions 31 to 40. Listen and answer question 31 to 40.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today we'll be exploring a behavior most of us are familiar with: procrastination. Despite being common, procrastination is often misunderstood. It's not simply about poor time management or laziness. In fact, it's a complex psychological behavior that involves emotion regulation, fear of failure, and even perfectionism. To start, let's define procrastination. It is the voluntary delay of an intended task, despite expecting to be worse off for the delay. It's when you know there's something you should be doing, like studying for an exam or replying to an important email, but you choose to do something else instead, usually something more enjoyable or less demanding. Crucially, procrastinators aren't simply choosing to postpone work. They're doing so in ways that are irrational and self-defeating. Now, you might be wondering, why do people procrastinate? One major factor is task aversion. People tend to avoid tasks that they perceive as unpleasant, boring, or difficult. This leads them to seek instant gratification through easier, more enjoyable alternatives, such as watching TV or scrolling through social media. This is a form of what psychologists call temporal discounting, where we value immediate rewards more than future ones, even if the future reward is greater. Another important element is emotional regulation. Procrastination is often a way to avoid negative feelings associated with a task, such as anxiety, insecurity, or boredom. By putting the task off, individuals momentarily relieve these unpleasant emotions. However, the relief is short-lived and often followed by guilt, shame, or stress, which can actually increase the likelihood of future procrastination. It becomes a vicious cycle. Research also suggests a link between procrastination and perfectionism. Some people set extremely high standards for themselves and fear they won't meet them. Instead of facing the possibility of failure, they avoid the task altogether. Ironically, this avoidance increases the chance of underperformance, reinforcing their fear of inadequacy. Let's now consider the role of personality traits. Studies have found that procrastination is strongly associated with low levels of conscientiousness, a trait characterized by self-discipline, organization, and dependability. People who score lower in conscientiousness tend to be more impulsive and easily distracted, making it harder for them to stick to goals or routines. There's also a biological component. Research using brain scans has found that chronic procrastinators often show increased activity in the limbic system, which is involved in processing emotions. Meanwhile, their prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for planning and decision-making, may be less active. This imbalance can lead to difficulties in managing impulses and delaying gratification. Now, while procrastination can affect anyone, it's especially common among students. This is largely due to the structure of academic life, which often includes long-term assignments and delayed consequences. For instance, when an essay is due in 3 weeks, students may perceive that they have plenty of time, leading them to delay getting started. Unfortunately, the more time they delay, the more pressure they experience as the deadline approaches, which can result in panic and rushed work. So what can be done to combat procrastination? One effective strategy is breaking tasks into smaller, manageable steps. This helps reduce the feeling of being overwhelmed and provides a sense of progress. Another approach is known as implementation intentions. These are specific plans that link a future situation with a goal-directed behavior. For example, if it's 9 a.m., I will start writing my report. This technique has been shown to significantly increase follow-through. Other helpful strategies include minimizing distractions, like turning off notifications or working in a quiet space, and using time management techniques such as the Pomodoro technique, which involves working in short, focused intervals followed by breaks. It's also useful to reframe your mindset. Instead of viewing a task as a burden, try to connect it to your broader values or long-term goals. For example, studying for an exam might feel tedious, but if you link it to your aspiration of becoming a doctor, it may feel more meaningful and motivating. Finally, self-compassion can make a big difference. People who forgive themselves for past procrastination are less likely to continue the cycle. Being overly critical or harsh only increases stress, which can lead to further avoidance. To conclude, procrastination is more than just a bad habit. It's a psychological coping mechanism influenced by emotions, personality, and even brain function. By understanding the underlying causes and applying practical strategies, it's possible to reduce procrastination and become more productive, fulfilled, and mentally resilient.
That is the end of the Part 4. You have now 30 seconds to check your answers to Part 4. You have now 10 minutes to transfer your answers to an answer sheet.